Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My guests tonight are returning Taki Soma and her artist on the new wonderful comiXology original. Uh, Man, I've only got to read issue one, so I don't even know how to describe it yet. I'm gonna put that on you guys in a second because like I was just left at the end of it going, oh fuck, this is cool. Um, but the artist John Broglia and I've been informed that John isn't getting to do enough of the press on this, so we're gonna really highlight his art tonight, which I'm totally down with because I really enjoyed his art. And I'm gonna start really quickly before I have either one of you give the pitch, saying that there were two things that stood out to me. And I'm a writer who can't make pictures in my head. So like that's the first thing I gotta tell people that it's this podcast that has made me aware of how much artists are part of the massive storytelling rather than just the writers. So if I use the wrong words or whatever, my apologies in advance. But I love your panel decisions and specifically some of the times where you decide to give us space. Like I'm looking at it's like page 6 right now. That's 3 panels, but also a lot of either rain or static. It's not even clear what it is. It's not just the blue background, but you did something with it to, but also, and like it's a weird thing to notice, but particularly as I'm flipping through, just like looking at what grabbed me now, because that's the other thing is I never notice it when I'm reading. It's just part of the story when I'm reading. It's when I go back and I go, what things I really dissect and I look at the panels without looking at the words and I go, what things were what jumped at me and made this panel sink? You are amazing. And I have to go, oh, well, I hate doing this. This is probably at least kind of a Taki comment, but I'm going to assume that you were involved in a lot of it. The shadows are just great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, as soon as I looked at it, I'm like, oh wait, Taki did the color. So it's kind of both of you on
Yes,
that.
it's been a fantastic collaboration on
but
that.
but the shadows, but both in terms of their realistic placement, and that's sometimes an issue in comics.
Yeah.
Having a consistent light source, whatnot. I mean, one of the things that made Carl Barks the good duck artist long before anybody knew his name is he was the only one that gave them shadows, which is why they started erasing the shadows on his covers because they discovered that it made those ones sell better and they wanted them all to sell well. um, which I mean, that seems kind of backwards to me. You'd think that you'd either give him all the covers or
Yeah.
encourage the other artists to learn
To
how to do
do just
shadows
that, yeah.
rather than making somebody's art worse in
Yeah.
hopes that it would goose the sales on the other issues.
Yeah. That is a kind of a backwards thing. But
Welcome
you
to
know
the
what I love
wild
about
world of
John's art
Disney when
too is
yeah,
yes, his shadows are right on,
yeah.
but the acting,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. No, no,
The
no.
expression, the acting is so
Yeah.
superb. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't actually need this dialogue here because
Yeah.
he's drawn
Well,
it and I don't have to actually say it.
I'm even looking at what is essentially a silent scene because the only parts that are being said are grandpa talking to himself um when he is desperately performing CPR.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see him go through the entire gamut of
Emotions.
panic,
Yeah.
panic,
Mm.
determination,
And
I
give
had
failure,
yeah.
regret,
yeah,
surprise, joy, all in 2 pages.
Yeah. I know.
I had
That's all John.
I had a lot
From
of good
from a dude in a red sweater. You
I had a
know, I
lot of
mean,
good
yeah, no,
Allergies, so excuse me.
yeah,
I had a lot of good
okay.
reference on that. I work also as like a first responder. So I've taken the first responder
Okay.
course multiple times. I've actually have done CPR on someone before. So I just
I used to run dementia units.
There you go. Yeah, I just
Did
kind
you
of
break their
grew from
ribs?
that. I tried to make sure because I was going to hear it from everybody that I know.
Right, right.
that the
Did
technique
you
had to
break
be
their
correct.
ribs?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No,
Sometimes-
no,
Yeah,
no,
if you're
no.
breaking the rib,
Taki,
yeah, you're
if
doing
you
it right.
don't, you probably don't save them.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I actually did CPR as well.
Right.
And I remember that's why Gramps is singing
Yes. Yep. And
Yeah.
Staying Alive
Yep.
is because that was what they taught me. They're like, you
Right.
use that rhythm to,
Right.
calm
Right.
down. And you are probably going to break their ribs, but that's the force that you need to use. And I'm like, okay.
yes.
I mean, again, that was I used to run dementia units, and that was one of the things that I would bring up when we were talking about whether or not there should be a DNR. I'm sitting there going, you understand that if we have to do CPR, if we're going to be successful, it likely means their ribs get broken.
Yeah.
And now you have an 80-year-old mother who maybe is still alive, but
yeah.
has crushed ribs.
Mm-hmm.
I
100%.
think I would much
And
rather
dementia,
have
because we're
broken
here to
ribs
begin
than
with.
Not. Yeah.
And Taki, I did appreciate that in the script when I saw that, the Staying Alive reference.
Yeah.
I saw that immediately and I went, oh yes. I was like, she
knows what she's talking about.
Yes. Yes.
So I get tangential. Are you on a volunteer force, or are you actually full-time as a emergency responder? And
I do. I work security.
Okay.
So where we all have to be certified.
Gotcha.
So when I'm not doing comics, I'm doing that. So
I mean, just for a second, I saw you next to Nick Cage in the ambulance in the Scorsese movie. You got the voice for it, so I'm like, this guy's
all strung out and no sleep and.
Well, I was hoping that you weren't
those New York
strung out one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
Taki.
forgot that
go
you've
on.
done, CPR on people, actually saved people, and that's so cool.
Yeah. So
So
that was a great scene. I was glad it was in the book. It was a great emotional scene, which Taki is fantastic at. Taki really writes with a lot of heart.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of emotion. So that makes my translating it to the characters that much easier. It's so easy. I read the script and it's so easy. I can make these characters do whatever I need them to do on the page because I know, the way Taki's writing it, it's clear as day. It's clear as day to me. I see it perfectly.
Yeah. Thank you.
So in another example of where purely through facial emotion, body language, and again, don't get me wrong, Taki, the you said it already. The words are great, but completely unnecessary in this scene.
I know.
And now I actually want because this is comiXology original, and because I've only seen it as a digital, I have to ask the question: do you guys know? I mean, I'm assuming you're planning on physical at some point as well, because most of the comics are. So do you know where the page flips are going to be?
Well, yes and no. It depends. It depends on where it's going to land.
Okay.
And also the first few issues, John and I actually had double page spreads in the beginning, but it doesn't really translate very well on comiXology. So when it gets printed, it will have double page spread.
Okay.
Pages.
So
that page 6, for instance, that you referenced, that page 6 probably, I guess, it would be 5 and 6, well, 6 and 7.
Right.
that was originally one of our double page spreads.
Well, and that will work
Yeah.
perfectly as a double page spread. This next one, which at least in the PDF is 14 and 15, I'm gonna put in my vote that it will work better as a page flip. Which I assume you guys will know already when I start talking about it, because it's when they get to Grandpa's apartment and he's initially going, "Oh, you shouldn't be here," and then they see the body and they immediately go to give him a hug. "Oh, are you okay, Grandpa?" And it's the perfect page flip to,
Yes.
"Oh, different angle. Ah, there's a live alien here."
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So please do not allow that. If you
Oh,
have
yeah,
to throw
no,
in a
that's-
random ad or whatever to make it so that that's a page flip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll definitely work with whoever's going to print it and make sure that those
Because it's
surprising,
it's just not quite as
revelations
powerful if you go from the
Yep.
corner up than if
Yep.
you flip the page.
Yeah, that's also that's Taki's comic sense, man. She knows how to write a comic. A lot of writers don't catch that. A lot of writers don't put the proper page turn.
No,
they'll put that on page 14, where you're kind of already seeing 15 when you do the page flip.
right.
Taki, she does that a lot throughout the book, and you can see it. And that page flip is a good surprise when you turn.
Right.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm probably one of the most digital heavy of huge comic book people. I mean, I prefer physical, but I don't have space. So I got over that a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like the page flip is and the page flip is easier to make work than some other things going. A lot of ways, the page flip works better on digital than it does on than the two-page spread does on digital. And for that matter, occasionally the page flip cannot be done right the way John was just saying, but on digital, because you're only seeing one page at a time, you feel like
it's always a page flip. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like there's something more about the experience of taking that truly physical action in between. It is definitely one of the things, and I don't think it's required. Some people do. I know Tom King is always talking to me about thinking about the page flips. Bendis writes about, you got to remember where the page flip is. There are people that this is a serious thing to. And there are people that, like me, think, look, 80% of the time your page flip doesn't matter, but those times where it matters, you'd better do it right.
Yes.
I like to think of it this way. I think about every page, whether it's you're looking at two pages together, it doesn't matter. Every page should have a purpose, and you're saying something. It has a beat.
Yes.
Right.
And then it moves on. Like, I always make sure that I have a point. And
right.
There's a beat to each page. So I hope that, like, even if it's like you're looking at the two pages together, that like you can't wait to get to the next page anyway.
Oh yes.
Even though you
absolutely
can see it,
Absolutely.
And I feel like if you follow that philosophy, then you're probably going to succeed in keeping the audience or the reader engaged and wanting more. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of working with writers that have been able to, understand that, which has been great. But there are some writers that don't get that. If you're a writer and you're an artist like Taki is, then, you're understanding both sides of it. You understand the way it needs to look and the way it needs to read as well.
Right.
So it's a pleasure. That's an absolute pleasure. Yeah.
But also John himself is a writer and an artist too.
What book did I not go dig up?
My only writing credit so far, I'm new to writing, is my Kickstarter, Zombie Soma. My
is it kickstarting now, or is it?
No, we'll be doing one soon after I finish up with Alienated. I'll be working on the third.
Well, then
novel.
your job is to make certain you tell me and come back, because I love talking to Kickstarters and trying to goose them along. And for that matter, one of the places I'll sometimes put that superpower that I was talking to you off air about to use is on Kickstarters. I'm a teacher by day, so I'll roll out the daily math lesson when you're not across the border, and it'll be things like, John's Kickstarter is $3,000 from its goal. I have 1,000 followers.
Nice.
Yeah, the digital version, $5. That means only 2/3 of you need to buy. I'll like show the work.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that like John and I have, and Michael too, like we all understand like various different aspects of making a comic, you know. We can all write.
Well, I mean,
draw.
You're being very humble right now, Taki. I'm pretty certain you know all aspects of writing a comic and drawing a comic and coloring a comic and lettering a comic. Yeah. I'm pretty certain that you could even jump into the job of editing a comic, seeing as like you and Mike have been doing it for each other for
we do edit each other.
I'm not certain what part of the process the two of you aren't expert in. John, I'm assuming you know lots of this stuff too, but I haven't met you as often.
I know some stuff.
He's been doing this probably longer than me. Really.
That I believe, but there are a lot of people in comics. I try to know them all. I don't always succeed.
There's a lot of us, so yeah. But yeah, I just feel like because
he says as he looks him up and is about to like find some comic that he loves, that he's like, oh fuck, that's that guy. I've had that happen so many times on the air. It's like, you did what? You did Harriet Tubman Demon Slater.
Yeah, I was actually David Crownson and I was actually part of
that's right.
The original
you did
design.
Nice Jewish boys.
Yeah, that was my previous comiXology.
You had something in mind, Celebration. Okay. Let's see how it's going.
Neil Clyde is actually the reason I got on radar with comiXology in the first place.
Yep. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see how it is. Make the host look bad.
Have you had Neil Clyde on here before?
I haven't.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's on my list, but he's actually a name that I know is on my list.
Yeah, he's got something coming out soon too. So that would definitely.
We'll have to. I mean, I will say that one of my favorite things about the comics industry is like when I started this podcast, I went, oh, I finally have an excuse to practice writing emails to people I don't know and asking for things, which like is a real skill and one that's important for a lot of things, particularly for like healthcare and that sort of thing. And one that I didn't have at all. And I'm autistic. I didn't know that. I didn't fully know that when I started the podcast, but I did know that like the only way I got over massive anxieties was by like doing it over and over and over again. So I'm like, oh, this is one of those things that I've needed to know how to do for a long time and not had a good way to practice. So I'm going to practice I'm going to write 5 emails a day because nobody's going to get back to me. Everybody gets back to you. Everybody wants to be on the podcast. So the next thing you know, it's like, how do I tell one of my heroes that I'm booked for the month because everybody else got back to me faster?
That's awesome.
It is awesome, but it's like, yeah, no, I mean, it is just awesome.
It's a good
there's not really a but there. It's occasionally overwhelming as well, but in a very awesome way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
And now I'm actually on, I've had Taki before, but this came together not because I reached out to Taki, but because I'm on a couple of PR people's lists. So like they reach out to me regularly. Hey, you want to talk to this person? It's like, duh. Yes, I want to talk to that person.
Yeah, the marketing team for comiXology is solid. It's I mean, I'm so busy doing podcasts since it's debuted. And
well, did you know that Dustin does his own comics too?
Nope.
Yep.
No, I didn't
know.
Yeah, I
Really?
actually, this is funny.
That's pretty cool.
And this goes back to the Insert Name Zine Fest, which is going to be funding soon. So I should just say it on the air. It's coming up in Minneapolis. He does, I think, Doghead Sunset, which is one of Ryan Carey's favorite books. So like Ryan had been getting me to read Dustin for years now and telling me, you got to have Dustin on the show. And suddenly I have this email in my inbox from Dustin. I'm like, oh, did Ryan tell him to write me? And then it wasn't about that. It was, oh wait, gosh. You're representing, I mean, really the way I got on their mail list is I'm friends with Dennis Kitchen. So they also represent the Kickstarter for the documentary being made about him, which I didn't know. I just found out the documentary was being made, and I texted Dennis. I said, hey, you're going to have to come back on the show. And he's like, well, you should bring the director and whatnot too. I'll give your email address to the PR people. So when I got Dustin Holland, I'm like, oh, did Ryan say something? Then I opened it up and it's like, no, Dennis said something. PR must be his day job, or there's another Dustin Holland. But I wound up like sending the email back with just the picture of the cover of his book. I'm like, Dustin, is this you? And he's like, yeah. I think we've got a mutual.
Oh, thank you for the info. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Doghead Sunset, Dustin Holland.
Nice.
I'm actually gonna write it down.
I'll go dump it in the chat too.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's so crazy.
Hey, it's a small. This whole comics world is a small and wonderful place.
Agreed.
That's pretty much what I have to say about it.
Yeah.
And we just went off the rails again.
No, comiXology as a whole has been comiXology has been fantastic to work with. I mean, this is my second book with them, and they're just I can't recommend them enough. They've been a pleasure.
I was so sad when they got rid of the old comiXology software, just because it was just as they were really starting to kill it with their original comics, and I'm like,
they were really ramping up. And then,
I mean, it's so clear that it was a decision that had nothing to do with the comics themselves, because it's like you had this wonderful set of things that were only available through you, and you suddenly made it harder to get them. Because that was really, I mean, everybody complains about the switch between comiXology and Kindle, and like in terms of readability, nothing changed. What changed was in being able to find the books you wanted.
Access. Yeah.
Right. So like the only thing they did was make it harder to sell you shit.
Yeah.
Which seemed like the world's weirdest decision until you go, oh, now they only have to have one tech team rather than two.
Yeah. And I think, they probably figured that it was just going to be growing pains that they just have to go through, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But I think in the end, it kind of does make sense.
Yeah.
Oh no, it makes total sense from an overall business perspective.
Yeah.
And no sense from a strictly comic book business perspective. But
sure.
But in the behemoth that is Amazon, comiXology is like a pea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually I've been like a subscriber to comiXology.
Me too.
The beginning, right? And,
me too.
And when the transition happened, I was like, oh, I have to adapt. But now that it's what are we about a year in or so, maybe even two now, it's been a lot. I've gotten used to it now, and now like I'm just jumping onto my Kindle and I'm actually things with no problem, and it's.
Well, and I have no problem with that point, but here's what I do know is that I buy probably $100 less comics a month because it's harder to find new and interesting things that I didn't know about that it used to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So from just me, it
Mm-hmm.
costs them $100 a month.
Mm.
Hopefully not alienated.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a
No.
comiXology subscription, so
Yeah,
I don't
I
have
know,
to
so you
pay
got
for
the-
I don't have to pay for Alienated.
Yeah. Hopefully, like they'll start to figure it out, and like the algorithm and stuff like that will like work out, better
Yeah.
with time.
I
Yeah.
think also they open the door to competition, and that will wind up being better for the creators. It'll turn out that Amazon loses their P of revenue that they probably saved by having one tech team rather than two. And as a
Yeah.
result, Global Comics and Suite and whatever become actual things, and there's competition, and therefore comics creators like get paid rather. I mean, the number of people I talked to who had books on Amazon that weren't comiXology originals and therefore they weren't paid for them up front, who couldn't even tell you how they got paid for them. They're like, yeah, every once in a while I'll get a very small check. I have no idea how much they figure out. but it's too hard to try to make them tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
why
know.
everything with comiXology has been direct and upfront.
Right.
And
No, and that's
Yeah,
why
that's
I try to separate anything I say about comiXology from what I say about Amazon. And
Yeah.
I'm actually even now when Bezos is starting to tick me off with his Washington Post policies, more of an Amazon apologist than most people I know. But man, there are times where I sit there going, talk about like swallowing the forest or swallowing the tree because you're a forest. I mean, this right here is the problem with companies that are too big, is that what's the perfect decision for them is like a colossally bad decision for tons of people who use them or work for them or whatever, but those people are just one of a million numbers on a spreadsheet.
Yeah. That's the corporate
But
world.
let's get into more fun stuff. Taki, where'd you get the idea?
Well, I just woke up one day and I just had that image in my head just out of nowhere of, bunch of aliens that arrived overnight from somewhere, and but they were all dead and they're just littering all around, your neighborhood. And that's the only image I had in my head. And I'm like, dude, that's a cool image. I really like that. And I started asking questions like, well, how did they get here? Why did they come here? Why did they all die? And like, what would the implication of society be? How would I deal with aliens like just like they died at my footstep, or like, in my garage or something? What would I do if I just found one dead? And like, how would that affect me? And how would it not affect me and stuff like that? And I just started asking a lot of questions, and I'm like, I'm asking a lot of questions over this one image in my head that just popped in. So this is a story.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Some of the best stories come from come from a dream. Like,
Yep.
It's amazing. Yeah, you wake
Yeah.
up with just like something laid out, and you're like, oh yeah, we got to run with this.
Oh yeah.
It's like the best.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, where'd that come from? I don't know, but we have to make something of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually it's never like calculated or anything.
No.
I usually just follow my instincts, which I think most creators do that. You agree with me, right, John? Like,
Absolutely. Oh,
yes,
100%. Yeah.
Follow like your instincts more than anything. Like, I was teaching writing comics with Brian Bendis for a couple of semesters at PSU, and I felt, I was like, there's a lot of rules, or like that, like they're not quite rules that you have to follow, but like rules that work.
I mean,
But
that's where the name of this podcast comes from. 22 panels that always work.
yeah, right? They always work, but you don't have to use them.
Right.
You don't have to use any of it, or you don't have to use all of it, or you can just use some of it, or whatever. However you want to use it, it's fine. Or don't. And it still works, you know?
I've had at least one artist on this show that says, "You mean 22 panels that always suck?" I'm like, dude, I guarantee you've used some of them. He's like, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
all
you're
I
right.
use.
The decision to use or not use, or to break out of it, or to bend it, to bend the rule.
Well, and that's what I always say about the Wally Wood thing is it's not the 22 panels that you use. It's not the 22 panels that it's the 22 panels that always work.
Yeah, it'll work.
Because he understood that as much as it was an art form and as much as he wanted to throw into his art, it was also a business, which meant that sometimes
Can I tell you something about that, the 22 panels though?
Sure.
He didn't, Wally Wood didn't put that together.
No.
Yeah, it was an editor who put it together.
Larry Hama.
He took Wally Wood's panels and then just put them together and then made that thing.
Which comes from an editing standpoint of basically I'm tired of showing you all. This is easy. We need this book done on time. So here,
here's what always works. Hollywood is a really talented storyteller, visual storyteller. So look at this.
Yes.
Yeah. No, the way I understand it, and it could be wrong, is Wood had it in a much rougher form just for himself, and Hama knew about it, and he took it and made it much neater and put it in the Marvel bullpen.
Oh, that I didn't know. That part I didn't know. I only knew about that Wally Wood wasn't the one who put that together.
He wasn't the one that put together the one that we see the most.
Because Mike Oeming and Brian Bendis did their own version of it in the Powers universe. And then, a lot of conversation had to happen, and how they discovered, it was put together by an editor.
Yeah,
all that stuff. So
which makes sense.
But it was for the same reason. It was because it was, look, if you immediately look at the script and come up with something amazing, don't look at the 22 panels. Do that amazing thing. Yeah. But if you've got this dialogue and you don't know what to do with it and you're stuck, look at these. See which one of them jumps at you and use it.
Let's help move this along, type of thing. We gotta, because at the end of the day, you do, deadlines are deadlines. And
deadline is king, right?
I wish I could take,
of course, we all want to take
make your Watchmen.
Make
your Watchmen, so you've got the
we want to make it perfect,
sales,
but,
and then
I remember telling students, I'm like, there's no real rules. You can do whatever you want, and also, it is a form of art, but it's also a business. And always remember that it's a business.
We're commercial artists, and we're
commercial artists, and being on time is very important. And
also, it's a form of art, but it's more a form of storytelling art than fine art.
At times. I mean,
I never claim comics to be fine art.
I will sometimes claim. Yeah, I will sometimes claim comics to be fine art, but they can't be fine art if they're also not great storytelling. So I mean, it's kind of
the whole point of comics is to tell a story visually.
Right. It's kind of when I'm helping kids with an essay at school or a creative writing assignment or whatnot, I'll use
your
the
cat
trope.
really loves you.
He does. Well, he also loves my microphone.
Oh, okay.
I'll remind them, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Perfection doesn't exist in art.
That's true as well. but if you're looking for that perfect page so much that you don't sit back and go, oh, I can do it this maybe in my head in this moment, not as creative way, but that will still tell the story well, you're losing track of what you're trying to do.
Yep. You got to learn to let go.
Right.
Yeah, and there are artists out there that are totally like, they cross that threshold into fine art. There's, David Mack.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are guys like that could do that. And I'm not that. I will never be that.
I disagree.
I'm not, but
I disagree.
Yeah, I
will take pages of this book and call them fine art.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a different version of fine art than some people do, but I mean, I have been at the Yale University Art Museum, which, by the way, has a ridiculous collection, and there's a shovel hanging from the ceiling that is considered fine art. I'm pretty certain it was bought at an Ace Hardware in 1942, but because they hung it from the ceiling, it's fine art. So
I could tell you a quick funny story about that. About my father. My father passed away about 6 years ago, but he's always had fantastic stories. So my father was the ultimate, working man, blue collar working man. He was a construction worker in New York City, local 3 electrician. And
okay, so the accent isn't just Brooklyn, it's Brooklyn, Brooklyn local Okay, this all makes sense, man.
So he was working, in an area one night in a warehouse, and right next door they were doing a fine art sculpture exhibition. So him and his coworkers kind of like pulled back the drape a little bit. They peeked in and they saw these people were just taking, just random objects and putting it together and making it into fine art. And they decided, as a bunch of construction workers who were wasting a lot of, time and money, I guess, decided to just throw together a whole contraption of bending pipe and throwing up some electrical wires on it and some lighting. And they slid it through the drape into the exhibition. And they actually placed fairly high and were able to actually sell it. It actually sold for the exhibition, and they all cracked up laughing because they did it in maybe 15, 20 minutes. So it was always like a story he would come home and tell me.
Art is,
in
my opinion.
Art is.
It's about the intention. It's about purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I had to tell my father, I said, you don't understand. I said, you're doing it kind of mockingly. I had to tell my father, but you don't realize that you're actually really just creating art. I said, you actually did it in a certain way, a certain feeling to it, but that's what it is. You just created art. And he was like, oh man, maybe I did. It was,
Okay.
That's amazing. I
have to ask you a serious but kind of funny question now. If we were to give you the necessary tools and materials, could you build your own house from the ground up without like any assistance? You seem like that guy.
I am handy. I will say that. I'm not that handy. I still require help. But I am fairly handy.
I mean, this just popped into my head because I got to talk to both Ben Percy and Chris Schweizer at C2E2 last weekend, and I've joked for a long. Chris, I know well. Ben, I met for the first time, but I've seen him on shows and whatnot. And I've joked for a long time that there are 2 people in comic books that you could drop into the middle of the woods with 1,000 miles in any direction, and they would either find their way out or just build a cabin and live there. And it's Chris Schweizer and Ben Percy. and I told them both this weekend separately, and both of them, as I predicted, the first words out of their mouth before I even said build a cabin and live there in Chris's case was, oh no, I wouldn't find my way out. I'd build a cabin and live there. Ben's like, it's almost what I do already.
Nice. Yeah, no, I could probably find my way out. We'll say that. I could maybe survive and find my way out.
A city kid? That's I gotta know how you've got the outdoors experience.
I used to go camping upstate Roscoe, New York, and I used to go upstate camping with the friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would immediately just die.
Crawl up in a ball.
Yeah.
I'd
be like, well, I'm lost forever, so I might as well give up.
I probably wouldn't immediately die, but I would probably decide that I wasn't that interested in longevity, and I would see how much I could enjoy what time I had left.
Let's challenge this. Yes.
I mean, I have some outdoor skills, so I'd probably be able to like build the lean-to and not freeze to death overnight, blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't be building any cabins. I wouldn't be building any tools.
No.
Me neither.
And I might be able to make it out, but if I knew that there was 1,000 miles in any direction, I might just go, is it really worth it?
I could probably work something out if there's a Home Depot nearby. If they have a random Home Depot in the middle of those woods, then I can get the
you can make something.
Lumber.
1,000 miles of woods in every direction except for the well-stocked
Home Depot. Yeah.
I might be able to write myself out of it, but that's about it.
Yeah, if Taki survives, she'll write a great story.
And here's the question, John. If there was a random Home Depot in the middle, why would you build yourself something rather than living at the Home Depot?
Who wants to live? I wouldn't want to live at a Home Depot. You can't even find somebody to help you at Home Depot.
That's true. That's hilarious.
John, welcome to 22 Panels. This is how we roll here.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
I just realized that we haven't actually given the front counter pitch for this book. To either one of you want to tell anybody that's still with us an hour in, like what the book is about?
Go, Taki. Go for it, Taki.
Just imagine you wake up one day and there's a bunch of aliens dead all over the world. What would you do? Find out in the comic.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll say this.
Really, how would you bond with Grandpa?
How would I bond with Graham?
No, that's the question. It's not just what would you do with the dead aliens. Dead aliens all over the world. How would you go bond with your grandfather? Want to know more?
Yeah,
I'll say this about the book. And this is what drew me to no pun intended, what drew me to draw it, was that it's really got a lot of heart. It's about family.
It does.
I always enjoy all the extravagant stuff that's in comics, the superheroes flying with the capes, and we've got aliens landing on Earth, and all that's the big flashy stuff, and it's all real cool. But the character-driven stories is what I look for when I work on a project.
Yeah.
And that's what Taki brought to this storyline. Is every character matters. That's important. That's not always the case in comics. Every character absolutely matters. And you're going to care for these characters. You're going to follow along, and you're going to care about them. And because the heart is there, the heart of that family is there.
Yeah.
And that's the important part. Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely love that family. And it's John's artwork that really breathes life into these characters. When I first came up with the family, like the grandfather and the grandkids, they weren't real. They were just characters that I was placing like chessboard at first, and then I saw John creating, like, because I gave him very little like descriptions of the characters. I purposely did it because I wanted to see what he saw.
So this was collaborative from a really early standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
He was doing character designs before you'd finish scripting, that sort of thing.
As comics should be. Comics should always be.
I agree, but they're not always that
I know,
way. Particularly when they go through companies.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, oh, pitch me the script. All right, I've got the script. Let me go find an artist.
That's why I lean a lot towards creator-owned. And that's why comiXology has been another reason why they've been great, is that they let you do your thing. They're letting us do our thing. They want to see what we do. So they're not really like going, oh no, you got to change this or change that. No, they're like, you guys, this is your book, do your thing. And
Yeah,
that's
no,
great.
I
Yeah.
can't emphasize enough that they've put out a lot of good books,
Yeah. So
like
yeah.
a lot of good books.
Well, like the creators have a lot of like
Yeah,
freedom.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's pretty cool. It's
yeah.
really, really cool. But just getting back to like John, like you creating these characters, like they became real and they looked nothing like what I imagined at all at first. And it was like the most delightful surprise. It was like, and like I said, I purposefully like kept their descriptions like really vague, and because I wanted to be surprised, and
Yeah, that gave
boy
me the
did you surprise me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
that gave me the freedom to kind of, to make it a collaborative effort. And yeah, it's I if I'm reading a story with character, then I like to then that makes me want to put more character into the art,
yeah,
and so that's why it's just been a great team up.
yeah.
And then
And in
So,
Taki,
I mean,
fact, like your like the first like image, the panel you did of the inside of the retirement home was so like impactful to me that Frank, the character who only had like one line, and it was just going to be that. But because I love that panel so much, that he became a big part of the
character,
story because of your drawing. Because,
oh,
like I said, you literally breathed life into them. It was crazy.
oh, thank you.
so that like goes directly to the question I was going to ask here is, I mean, it's starting to sound like um the story before you included John, you had the concept, you had the aliens, but the family that is even in issue one, the heart of the story really started to gel and coalesce. I mean, was it even
They
really a family story before you saw those characters? I mean,
It
what
was
level of
absolutely a family story, yes.
okay,
But like I said, like John breathed life into them in a way that formed their personalities. Like I
okay,
knew like what they were going to do. Like they were gonna
okay,
go from A to B, and I knew where they were all gonna land.
okay.
But they, like I said, they were more like chess pieces, you know,
Than
than
swirls
like yeah,
and
like
yeah.
just
Okay.
like that they're real characters with
Both are equally cool. I was just trying to
Yeah,
figure
which
yeah,
out, is it
works.
is
yeah,
it
Yeah,
like
no,
we had this concept and I didn't know, is it going to be a family story? Is it going to be a mystery or whatnot? And then I saw the
mhm.
old man and I'm like, oh, it's about grandpa.
yeah. No, that's a cool
Or
thing
did
that
I already kind of know it was about grandpa and the kids and like I learned who grandpa and the kids were through the art.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a cool thing about comics that's not spoken about enough, I think, is just how the dialogue will spark the visual mannerisms of the characters, and then in turn, that will spark more dialogue and
hmm
Right.
more of
Well, and like
how they're interacting. Like
yeah,
so that'll inspire kind of the writer to then say, oh, maybe I see them kind of doing this throughout the book. Maybe they would probably say this more or act
yep,
this way towards one
yep,
another. So it's like we feed off of each other, and
yep.
that's they can't ask for more than that. That's great.
I
well, I
know,
mean,
Yeah,
it's magic.
and like the longer form the story, the more that happens. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
I've never gotten to talk to Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, though maybe one day, knock on wood, a lot. But like among my first questions would be like, famously, Goose was like essentially a throwaway character, except that like Brian like loved the art so much that he
oh yeah,
started writing more.
that happens
And
a lot. Yeah,
and Lion Cat was supposed to die relatively early, except Fiona said, nope, nope,
yeah,
nope.
yeah. That happens. That happens a lot in television. It happens in novels. It happens everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, that's part of the
I
creative
imagine it
part of the
helped.
process.
I mean, I'm certain it happens in novels, but it's generally less collaborative in novels.
That's
I mean,
true.
it's one side of your brain talking to the other side of your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of times,
Yeah.
the characters, that's when they always make the reference of like the characters
Right.
take on a life of their own type of
Oh,
thing.
they
Oh, yeah.
really
Like, you
do.
hear
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
I hear that
Yeah.
all the time. You know, you hear that a lot.
But it feels it does happen in television. I mean, like I'm a West Wing nut, and like first Bartlett was supposed to not actually be that big of a character in it. You know, he was supposed to like show up once or twice, but Martin Sheen so killed it that Sorkin started writing him more. But even more than that, Donna and Charlie were never supposed to be series regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
see,
thank God they were.
but they showed up, and they impressed Aaron so much that he just found himself writing more and more of them.
Yeah. A lot of times it's, you know, it's the people who are involved in, you know, the actors or
right.
the way
and in comics, the
sometimes
going
it's
back
the
and
fans.
forth.
Sometimes the fans connect
sometimes
with one character and they want more, you know, so then the showrunner or
though, I mean, sometimes they try to kill that character.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why Sherlock Holmes died. It didn't take because the fans included Doyle's mother, and they're like, so he's not really dead, right? When's he coming back?
Yeah.
But yeah,
so fans have been fans for more than 100 years.
Literally, I feel like, you know, this is where the instinct thing comes in. But I like to think that instead of my instincts, that characters are literally telling me like, this is how I would say it, not like that. So change, you know, like they'll literally tell me, because like the more I write these characters, the more I get to know them, and like I know their voices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And John with his art really jump started that for me. And as we went along, it just like they became more and more and more and more real. And the more pages he turns in, I'm just like, yep, they're real now. They're really real.
Yeah, even for me on the art end, it becomes more comfortable now, where like I had to really think about how would this character, what would their mannerism be, how would they act in the scene, how can I draw them. Now I'm like just flying through, and I'm like, oh, I know these characters, so it's just coming, like each one of them and their mannerisms are coming extremely naturally. It's like it's always right when you're about done with the book.
Yeah.
Then it becomes like, oh, this is like second nature now.
Yeah. And I also think that like my style of colors with your style of art really like I did not anticipate this, but I think they're like meant to be together.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah. So
right?
So Tad, I don't know if you commented yet on all the cool special effects that are the background. So I'll leave like
I didn't specifically, but I talked some of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all Taki. That's not me drawing that and her doing a color hold on it or anything like that. That is 100% Taki throwing these awesome special effects to fill some of the empty space that I'm leaving because I need to, you know, make the deadline. So I'll put an empty space, but then Taki's making it look, you know, cool. And it's not just for special effects sake. It's part of the story. Like it's part of what the characters are feeling and everything like that. So it looks, it's been a real, right down, I'm telling you, from the writing to the art to the colors, it's been a great collaboration.
Letters.
And the letters. Yeah. Taki is doing 98%.
But totally not the color or totally not the covers, because he's off at a meeting right now.
Yeah,
I know, right?
He missed that.
I colored the cover too.
Yeah, and she did.
Well then the colors on the cover are amazing. They make up for that bum Oeming's mediocre line art.
Taki's done 98% of this book.
So
that's not true. John
she's working
literally real hard. Like we're half, like 50-50 for sure.
One last alienated specific question, and then I want to pivot for at least a few minutes into getting to know John better, because Taki's been on the show and I've asked her some of the questions that I'll ask John before. People can go back and dig them up if they want to. They should, because it was one of my favorite interviews. But my last alienated question is, how many issues?
6.
All
6
right.
issues, and it was supposed to be 5.
So you earned yourself an extra one.
The crazy part is like I remember I just finished writing issue 5. I ended up on a cliffhanger, like I always do with every issue, right? And I was
Right.
like, yeah, I nailed it. The next issue is going to be the last one, and I like this is going to land pretty well, I think. You know, I'm like, oh, this is working out like really well, and I'm like, I felt really pumped, and I was like, all proud, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna end this real well, and then just I like looked at my contract for some weird reason, and it's like, oh yeah, it's 5 issues, and I'm like, oh shh.
We gotta write one more.
I just wrote the last issue and I ended it on a cliffhanger. So I guess I had to ask John.
You
I'm like,
should have sold that for 5 more rather than just 1 more.
And I was like, I
We
asked
need a
John, I'm like, can
series
you do
2.
pencils down, because I might have to like rewrite a whole bunch from where you're
Right.
at to the end of issue 5, or we might get the 6th issue. And obviously
Right.
the 6th issue, but for
You got
a
the
weekend,
6th.
I was just like,
Oh,
gonna do?
yeah, that's got to be a terrifying feeling.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I know comics creators and like how often thin your margins are and how close the, oh, wait a minute, I had to put my pencil down, but you know that I have rent coming up.
Well, luckily it was just a weekend.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
I wasn't trying to.
we got
But yeah,
quick.
I was like sweating it because
Right.
like I
because
really
it's
wanted to
out there.
tell this story the way
Right.
I wanted to tell it, and I'm like, but anyway, it all worked out. So
Yes.
So, John, I want your comics biography now. And by comics biography, I don't just mean your bibliography. Anybody can look up what books you've done. Talk to me about that first book you remember reading or buying, books that meant something to you, how you became the comics artist, lover, consumer, whatever that you are. Take me on a journey through the
life of
comics that are meaningful to John Broglia.
So I do owe my first being introduced to comics to my mom. I do owe it to my mother.
That's a really common first sentence.
Yeah, she would, when I was a little kid, same way I'm reading to my daughter now. She would read to me. We started with Archie comics. That was a big one because that's what she liked. She loved Archie comics, and so we would read together. I had a little comic shop because at the time the comic shops were popping up everywhere. There was a little comic shop around the corner from me, and I was going and collecting comics and I was reading comics, but nothing crazy. I wasn't like immersed in it yet. Then I would say the 1989 Batman film comes out. So I go with my father.
How
to go see
old
that.
were you, if you're willing to admit?
Probably 8. I think I was 8 years old.
Okay. So you're like a year younger than me. Got it.
So I go see that with my father and I'm blown away. I mean,
of course,
blown away. My father wasn't so much because he was used to the Adam West version of Batman. So I remember him sitting there and grumpily kind of going, oh, this is not what Batman's supposed to look like.
Where's the Batusi?
Yeah, what's going on? This is so dark. What's happening here? And I'm like, no, Dad, this is what Batman looks like.
The Joker has no squirting flowers.
So I remember the following day going with my mom to like a thrift store, and in the window of the thrift store was the collected trade for A Death in the Family.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So now this almost could have been a traumatizing event. This could have been a lot of years of therapy following this. So I go.
I mean, sometimes it's both.
Yeah. So I grabbed I had my allowance money, and I said, Mom, I have to get this book. So I bought 2 books that day. I bought that trade, and I bought How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way.
Nice.
Both were in the window. So I grabbed I snatched up my allowance money, and I bought both. And I got home, and my only exposure to Robin prior to this was Super Friends,
Burt Ward,
right?
Right.
So I'm like, Robin's like, gee golly, Batman.
Who is this Jason Todd
like
guy? And
then I watched him
just happened.
Yeah.
Oh, the
basically
bum cover artist just showed up.
Yeah, I see. Hey,
We're gonna have to start talking nice about him now.
But John's talking about his first, like, how he fell in love with comics.
Fell in love with comics for the first time.
Yeah.
So I end up reading Death in the Family, and my only exposure again is Super Friends Robin and Burt Ward Robin from the Adam West TV series, and I pick up this book and I open it up and I watch Robin, who I don't even pick up. That's a different Robin. I'm not even picking up on that yet. I'm 8 years old. I'm not understanding this, and I'm watching Robin get bludgeoned to death and then exploded in a warehouse. So normally that would have been like, oh my God, I was like running to my mother crying. But instead I was like, this is fantastic. I was like, this is comics. Comics are great. Okay. I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So then immediately the other book I had bought was How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. And I just cracked that open and I started just making my own comics, folding loose leaf and folding blank sheets of paper, whatever I can find, and just copying everything I could out of that book. I would take, some comics I got and I would actually script out stories, and I would actually not even draw them myself. I would sometimes, which I really regret now, cut some of the art out and then repaste it in my own panels with my own dialogue, and I would just do that. And I think at that point, I think when Image Comics launched, I had no clue prior to that there was something besides the big two. I thought everything was Marvel and DC. I thought if you were going into comics, you have to draw Spider-Man, you have to draw Superman or Batman. And then I saw these guys do this at Image, and I went, oh wow, they're just doing their own thing. I was like, you could do your own thing. And I was probably at that point about 11 or 12, and that was when I said, yeah, I want to make comics when I grow up. I haven't grown up yet, but I just still, I like to make comics. But
okay, that's still 30 years ago. So give me at least a handful of titles that have continued to change your.
Actually, Mike plays a big role in this part. So I go off to college. I go to School of Visual Arts in Manhattan, and my first year there, I'm basically told, none of you are going to work in comics. You're never going to make any money in comics. So now I'm freaking out. I'm coming from a working class family. What do I do? I can't go to college. Can't be the first person in my family to go to college and then come out with no job. Yeah. So I switch over to animation. So I start taking animation, and I was told, steady work, guaranteed work. So I start doing that. And I kind of start to leave comics behind, which is my first love, which is sad. I start leaving it behind until I read this tiny little comic. I don't know if anybody knows about it. It's called Powers.
That one?
Yeah, this little book.
I mean, it was good, but I thought people had forgotten that one.
Yeah, not really many people knew about it. So I picked up Powers, and that was like. You mean the book that taught us that it was possible to be interesting even if you had 50 panels and no action on a page? Yes. From the art to the story to the characters, I was like, this is what I want to do. I said, I want to do something like this. So I left animation. I did a little bit of animation when I got out of college, very little. But I went right back to comics. I went back to my first love. And then I got to meet Mike at the first New York Comic-Con at the Javits in 06 or 07 or something like that. I think it was 06. And I ran over to Mike to show him my artwork. And
he said, you suck. Go back to being an EMT.
Yeah. No, Mike being Mike, man, like at that time, which was crazy, that first year you had to have your name on your badge and where you were from, like your town that you were living in. And at the time, I actually had moved to Jersey. I was living in New Jersey, and Mike was living in New Jersey. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Mike looked at my art, and then he looked at my badge, and he went, "Oh, you're in Jackson. You're in Jackson, New Jersey. You're like right by me. You're like 20 minutes from my house." And I was like, "I guess." I was like, "I don't know. I don't know Jersey." I said, "I just moved here." And he's like, "I'm like, if that's so close, can I intern under you? I'll photocopy. I'll do whatever." And Mike was like, "No." Mike's the most humble person in the world. Mike was like, "No, why don't you just come out, just hang out, we'll do a drink and draw, and just hang out." And then that was that. My first real book in the industry was with Mike. We did God Complex together for Image Comics. So Mike helped me get my foot in the door.
I love it.
Well, you were good, man. You know how to tell a story. You know,
He does. We have glowed about that some while you were off taking your special person meeting.
In-person meeting.
I don't get out very often. Outside.
Yeah, so we're probably talking to like Hollywood people or something, because otherwise they would have done it on Zoom. Look at Mike just big timing us.
But it was really funny. Like I think at that point, like there wasn't a lot of other artists in our area. Like eventually, there was a point where we had like a little crew of people going on, because like it is bumfuck New Jersey. Like it is not like it's they don't film The Sopranos where I lived and where you lived, right? I mean, there was nothing going on.
Yeah.
A lot of fields, you know. So it's really surreal to have Brian, to have John out there. And he could tell a story, and you know, he was just one of our people. You know, you just tell when you meet one of yours. You know,
right.
And we clicked right away, and just every day since then we've been in touch. You know, maybe not every day, but you know, like on it consistently.
Yeah,
good friends.
Yeah, we've been friends
to his wedding. Always.
It is kind of in the boonies, isn't it? It's like not close to Philly or Atlantic City or New York.
I was in this little town called Bordentown, which was kind of close to Trenton, but then Jackson was where Great Adventure was, or Six Flags.
Right.
And it's empty out there that you could put something.
No, I'm just looking at it on a map, and I'm like, okay, because I know other people in Jersey, and it's like, wow, you managed to be in like the one place in Jersey where I can't immediately say I know something.
And most people think of like sort of North Jersey, like from Trenton, up, you know, but the rest of it is populated, but it's, you know, small colonial towns, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But John's a man. I mean, my two other, I call them like my brother artists, is Victor Santos and John, because they both have the mindset that I have. Like, we look at the comics and art and our life, and our productivity is very similar.
Well, Victor is another one of my favorite artists, and I've reached out to him a couple of times, and he's never gotten back to me. So if you want to like drop a whisper in his ear that 22 panels is actually kind of cool.
Central Time.
That might be a little easier, yeah.
But I do all sorts of things to try to accommodate artists and writers, and like I'm coming up on summer break, and when summer break hits.
Okay. I mean, he's in Spain, so like that's what or something.
Yeah, no, I do transatlantic all the time, but it just mostly happens on either days off or during the summer. So it's around the corner where that's like more than doable.
Yeah.
Though also, I have once gotten up at 4 a.m. before school to talk to somebody in France. That's how crazy I am.
Nice. That's dedication.
I want to embarrass John. When I first we became friends or whatever, like he was talk of town. Like he's married and like no one can you can look but don't touch. But like, boy, ladies love John.
Oh yeah.
Ladies would lose their crap.
Is that your next book? Ladies Love John.
Ladies
my God,
yeah, boy. He was a living meme of that guy walking with his girlfriend holding a head, turning and looking.
Yeah, seriously, like the women would just fawn over, and they're just like would lose their like ability to talk.
Well, now I'm going to embarrass Taki because this is funny. Like, you know, people think like the French accent is beautiful, or the Italian accent or something.
Taki has fallen off of her chair as the camera goes all over the place.
Yeah, John's accent or a Boston accent, like it doesn't work.
Northeast accents, yeah.
I tried to turn mine.
I'm turning it down, Taki. I was trying to turn it down.
Yeah, I'm like,
it gets way worse than this, Dad. It's way worse than this.
Yeah, she knows Bill Burr, and she's like, "Oh my God."
Oh yeah, Bill Burr.
Yeah, he's.
But one of the other things that I loved was, besides his accent, the two of you working together, not just as an artist and a writer, but as a colorist and an artist.
Yeah,
there's something new going on there, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying because I can't see you guys work together more, but and you've had other great coloring on you, but there's something about the way that you two work together as
they blend ridiculously well.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little earlier. Like,
I think that's actually how we led off the podcast. Remember, I was going to talk about great things about John's art, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute, the shadows are kind of both of you. So, John, I suppose you have to share this compliment.
100%. Oh yeah, I said that. I said there's nothing in this book that they could really pin on one person. It's a great collaborative effort.
Well, and that. That's
even when I'm working on the covers, Taki's working really closely with me. Like, those are conceptually all her approach.
Okay.
All the covers that we're doing. So we work together and we nail down some ideas.
Trading on your name. She tells you what to do. You're the artist robot. You sign your name
the perfect art director,
to juice the sales.
Like an art monkey, she has a point of view, right? And when you have a point of view,
are you saying that you wouldn't be her art monkey, Mike?
Oh, absolutely, I'd be her art monkey.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm all about collaborative work, so usually like he'll come up with an idea from my description of like the issue, like, well, this and this happens, and then he'll be like, well, what about this? And I'm like, yes, but how about from a different angle and stuff like that. Like,
can't make out what this actually is, but this is one of the covers.
This is just for me. I love it.
So we won't spoil it exactly, but
no, because we don't share videos, so you only spoil it with me.
Mike did that at first, and then I'm like, well, how about?
Oh no, yeah, like no, your idea is way better.
But yeah, and we kind of go from there, and he'll do like a really quick sketch, and then I'll have a couple more input, and that's about it. And then he'll do the rest, and I'll color it, and we're done.
Yeah, the covers have been very striking, and which is especially when you're scrolling through. If you're scrolling through comiXology, you want that. It's a tiny little thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Screen, so you want that to really.
Yeah, I gotta say, like when comiXology announced all the books and there's beautiful covers, amazing talented artists, but like Taki knew how to make that thumbnail pop. You're scrolling through, like that's the one that pops out. Yeah.
Right. So, okay, John, we'll come back to you in a second because I do have one more essential question for everybody. But normally I either have Taki or I have Mike, and the other will like come and say hi, but I haven't had you together. So I want to know a little bit about, particularly because you work together on stuff. Mm-hmm. Taki colors Mike a lot. Mm-hmm. Mike does a lot of covers for Taki, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And you work separately on stuff, but you're all living in the same place and clearly love spending time together. Mm-hmm. So like, talk to me about Michael. Talk to me about what the process looks like on anything, whether you're working together. I mean, Taki was talking about how Mike is often kind of the both the sounding board and the first editor. I assume that the reverse is also true. So like, talk to me about an evening in. Well, first of all, how do you decide this is work time and this is not work time, or do you just work all the time? But second of all, talk to me about like what work time in the Soma Oeming household looks like.
It's the latter, that we work whenever we want.
Okay.
And our hobby is comics and story, like making comics and story. So like I often joke about how like our love language is like talking about story.
Okay.
And
so it can start at breakfast. It's not like we have a normal breakfast or just our heads are in the phone and it's just kind of answering emails and stuff like that. But typically I'd say probably 4 times out of the week it turns to like a 2-hour podcast about something we watched before, or we watched a commercial and we'll just start talking about what was the messaging in a commercial?
Well, I'm glad that you don't actually record that because I've got enough competition already.
But it's a constant thing, and sometimes like Alienated didn't start as Taki saying, "Hey, I've got this idea for a comic." She just started talking about like this imagery that she had, and then through the imagery started going, well, how would people react to that? And it went into these other wild directions that have nothing to do with where the comic went. But over time, you start to realize you have a story and you have a story worth telling. And then you kind of wait for the right time for it to sort of need to be developed or to be developed and stuff. And yeah, a lot of stuff like that. Yeah.
That's great that you guys, have that.
That's the other thing, John. You could be part interviewer now.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys can bounce that stuff off of one another and see what sticks, what doesn't, and you're right in front of each other, so you it could be
we absolutely do not take that for granted. We do realize that we are really lucky, and we're very we know that this is a very unique situation, and I often joke like, well, if you want a creative life like like us, then just get another mic. But no, we do often talk about how we work really well together, we trust each other, we have a lot of patience with each other, and like I said, like our hobbies align, and it's about making comics, and we know that we're never like intruding on the other person's like personal time or anything. We just know that like this is what we like to talk about, this is what we love to discuss, so like it's just 24/7, like whenever we want. So it's a really great situation.
And the main thing is, so like we're always looking for the best, not just the best idea, but like how to execute with clarity and stuff. So one of the things you have to record many times, but it's sort of hard to break the rhythm when you're doing it. Like, so one of us will write a script and we'll have the other person, either we're reading it out loud or the other person will read your script out loud to the other person. So, I mean, you're really getting in there. And what I love about that is when she's reading my scripts, I can hear what doesn't work. Or if I'm hearing something that I thought worked, but I can hear her tripping up over it, I don't need her to sort of explain it. Like, I'll just, okay, this is a problem, right? But you really have to strip your ego out for all that, because you want to be defensive and all that stuff, but let that wash over you, right? And what happens is you end up getting the best feedback and sort of like a lifetime autopsy on your work.
Yeah, that's great.
I have to ask the really nerdy question. When you're reading the scripts, do you make voices?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Good.
I totally asked about.
That's the correct answer. So what does the alien sound like?
That's, oh my God, how he sounds in my head.
Well, we're coming up on when I need to kick John out to go read to his daughter. So
with all the voices, by the way.
Please.
I did.
Particularly now that Mike's here, which means we get to ask all three of you this question. My closing question. So Mike's answered a few times. Taki's answered it once before. So John, you get to choose whether you're first or last. Do you want an opportunity to think about it, or do you want to be on the hot seat?
Not okay. You can ask me first. Go for it.
All right. Tell me something you love, preferably a comic. If not a comic, preferably storytelling. But you know what? We break rules around here, so you do you. Something that you love that not enough other people around you have experienced, and you want them to, so that you have more people to talk to about it.
Oof, that's a big one. Well, it really could just be any.
And you can give me more than one answer.
Mostly everybody I'm surrounded by is a non-comic book person. So it's literally my family,
Here's
my wife,
Spider-Man.
Everybody has everybody. Yeah, it could be anything. It could be all of my nerdy stuff. But my biggest love's The Rocketeer.
Okay.
Yeah, I love The Rocketeer. I love Indiana Jones. I love pulp era characters. So that's really kind of where my heart really lies.
Indiana Jones, just the movies, or do you love the comics?
The comics, the novels.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
I read all the novels. I'm actually rereading the novels that I read in probably middle school.
I'm gonna have to go. I must admit that's where you finally stumped me. I love The Rocketeer. I love the Indiana Jones movies and comics. I didn't realize there were Indiana Jones novels.
There's a whole slew of Rob McGregor, I believe was his name, and Max McCoy were two authors of the Indiana Jones novels. Probably early 90s, I would say. They probably came out early 90s. Yeah, they were great. They were actually, it was a great era for Indiana Jones too, because it was basically a prequel, but it wasn't the young Indiana Jones series that we saw on television.
So it was like between Temple of Doom and Raiders.
Yeah, he wasn't a tenured professor yet, but it was his first job as a professor. So I believe he's in his mid-20s. He's in his mid-20s. And and it follows these great stories, around the globe.
You got me hooked. I hope there are audiobooks, because that's how I do most of my prose.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're great. And for a little while, I think while Dial of Destiny came out, it was hard to get a hold of the novels.
Okay.
They had skyrocketed in price.
Right, of course.
Ridiculous amount. So I was missing one or two, and it was right when I was rereading them, and I needed to fill that one in. And they were like $65 for like a $5 paperback. Come on now.
This is where I'll toss out, because I'm always in the more the merrier for any of the 22 panels book clubs. Mark Pratt, who's a playwright who wrote a trilogy of stories about first Bob Kane and Bill Finger, then Bill Gaines and Frederick Wortham, and his final one was about Stan and Jack. Gets together with me once a month for what we call the Pulp Blotter, where we have a book club where we talk on a Sunday morning about a different pulp book. Pulp inspired comics. So we've done The Rocketeer. We just did Tom Strong. We're doing some EC comics coming up soon. So if you need more people to talk about that sort of stuff with, let me know, and I'll add you to the invite.
That's my alley. Absolutely.
There's a hidden reason that I asked this question. Taki, Mike.
Well, there's quite a few, but
you can give me more than one. I'll take as many as you want.
I wish I knew more people who read Cordwainer Smith novels. He is
what was the name?
Cordwainer Smith, and he's a sci-fi writer from 60s. He was such a unique writer, and he really formed me as a storyteller. Really, I often refer to him for style, and I don't know, he's just really unique. And I wish I could just talk to people about his writings, because he's important to me. Outside of that, I wish I could talk to people about Pet Shop Boys more. And like silent films. I really love silent films, so yeah.
Who's your favorite silent film?
Well, you got the holy trinity of like Lon Chaney and Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton.
Yeah.
Okay. Because who's the Mike? Go, and I'll come back on the silent film thing.
My latest love was, of course, Mike Mignola, his book Bowling with Corpses. Mike's work gets more abstract, and not just like in the artwork, but sort of in the thought process, and in a way that still makes sense, but is slightly ahead of like anything anybody else is doing. And of course, I'm a big Hellboy fan, but like I think his new stuff's even better than Hellboy.
So he mentioned that a post, I think, today.
Oh, just today, yeah. Just
right?
Today.
Was it today? I never know if it's today or if it was 3 days ago, and I just saw it today.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's like, this is the best stuff he's ever done, and I only saw the writing, so I need to see the work. I want to see what it looks like. But yeah, Yeah, that's great.
We'll have to go check that out.
The only thing I kind of do outside of comics at the end of the day, I'm too tired to do anything else, so I'll play some video games. And I just finished Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That was an amazing game.
That was so cool.
A medieval survival game, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Taki, do you play with him or just watch with him?
Oh, no, I play myself. Yeah.
She's better.
I just, in the era of people who actually watch Twitch videos of other people playing video games, it's become a legit question.
I've done some of that.
It wasn't supposed to be, oh, you're the girl, you can't play video games.
Oh no, I
just suddenly realized that it might have sounded like that. It wasn't.
No.
I play a lot more than I wish I didn't, I guess. But like with my disease, it's been the most helpful thing when I have very limited like productive hours in a day. Sometimes I have none, and one of the best ways to cope with all the symptoms is playing video games, ironically.
Makes sense.
So
I can see that.
I actually and I haven't been playing again, but I was laid up with a concussion for a while. I think you actually talked to me in the middle of that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And I played more video games during that period than I had in years, because one of the things that I couldn't handle was like anything for more than half an hour at a time. So it was like half an hour of comics, half an hour of prose, half an hour of video games, half an hour of comics, half an hour. Because if I went an hour with anything, my head would hurt. But what I was just looking up for Taki, do you know Harold Lloyd?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's been, or at least the last time I talked to him, that was Mark Russell's current obsession.
Oh, wow.
So
Really?
there's somebody near you.
Yeah.
There's somebody near you
awesome.
that you can
I
talk
like
silent film with.
All right. Thank you for that, because
if you're ever down in Central California, China Clugston Flores is a massive Buster Keaton fan.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
So see, I try to be that connective tissue when that's the other reason I ask this question, is sometimes I can say, hey, I know who you can talk to about that.
Yeah, I keep trying to think of, like, I want to do a Buster Keaton story of some kind. I keep waiting for it to reveal itself, because I think he'd be fascinating to do, whether it's a biography or a fictional biography.
Silent,
or just a lost movie.
Silent film is like one of the best study guides for cartoonists, animators. It's like it's
the ultimate show don't tell. Right?
Yeah. It's like they had limitations in storytelling, right? Like, because they didn't have audio, and just like in comics, we don't have that option. We're limited to like words written, and so it's
well, I would actually say, Taki, we don't have that limitation. We don't have that limitation because we're in comics. We have to expand beyond just seeing the. You said we don't have that option.
Is what gives us ideas on how to communicate that limitation,
movement.
Right.
The expression, movement. And it's great because all the silent film actors were so over the top in expression, and that's what you need to do. I mean, when every time you're drawing somebody throwing something or swinging at something or doing something, it's an over exaggerated body movement. And studying, like the silent film, like doing that.
To this day, Taki does her own stunts.
It's the best stuff. Yeah.
Do you have like the pulley set up in a room somewhere for getting your photo reference? You pull yourself up in the air.
That would actually be very helpful, but no, we don't have that.
Well, John is a handy guy, so you should bring him.
Build you some pulleys.
You can have the best photo reference room and I remember that you're across the border in Washington, but I can't remember the name of the town right now. But that you can charge all the people from Portland to come up and use your photo reference studio that John built for you.
That's great. I use my kids sometimes. I just tell, jump up in the air. Jump up. Looks like.
Here, let me put this soft thing on the floor. Just dive into it.
Great.
It's not weird. I'm taking a photo of it.
John has to go read to his kids. It's been amazing. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, I Alienated. But does anybody know when it actually publishes on? I dropped the ball. I was supposed to look that up before we started. When is it available on comiXology? Oh, good.
8th. Yeah, okay. On the 8th of April, and the second issue is coming out May 8th, I think. Let me just double check. Release dates. May 6th.
All right, so Alienated #1 is already available on comiXology and comiXology Unlimited. Issue 2 will be available May 6th. I've read issue 1 and loved it. If somebody slips me issue 2, I will not complain. It was amazing. I can't wait to see more. For 22 panels, this has been John Broglia, Taki Soma, and some guy named Oeming that showed up and crashed at the end because he draws covers or something. And we will see you after the next page.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22panelspodcast.